Good day to you, my dear friends. Right now we are in the Chechen Republic, and we are on Chechen land. And here we are going to shoot the most unique test drive in the history of T3 show. We are going to shoot 5 supercars in one single video. And we are going to start from one of the most beautiful places in the world, Casino with Lamborghini Reventon. Reventon. It translates like explosion. And this automobile really is an explosion. And it seems that this car is the last of the Mohicans. And this automobile was built around the previous model Lamborghini Murcielago. In fact, this car is a Murcielago, it's simply wearing another skin that reminds of Aventador. And it was made in 2007. And in 2007 there were no cars with such a design. This car can be called an Aventador's grandpa, or a grandma, or a dad, whatever. Anyway, they're very close, and in a couple of years the Aventador became its successor. The engine they use here is the modified version of the Murcielago's engine LP640. The only thing they did is that they gave it 10 more horsepower, but the main thing is that the heart of this car is a 6.5-liter V12, and this engine is same powerful as 650 real horses. Officially, they say that this car accelerates to 60 in 3.4 seconds. I'm not going to test it, but I have doubts about it. Its top speed is 222 miles per hour, and I have no doubts about it. Do you know what car this Lambo reminds me in its behavior? It reminds me of a BMW M5 E60. It has the same mad transmission and the same mad agility. But the way this car stands on the road makes it a masterpiece. These wheels are made of carbon fiber, so this car grips the road as some 40 years old woman grips her final opportunity to get married. Come on. Come on. It behaves so pure and obedient. Very good steering. The suspension is so tight as a guitar string. You have to work with this car. The Aventador, it's different. And the performance is different. It's more balanced, but this car is so sharp, so rough. And after I have driven it, I became deeply convinced that this car should have never been allowed to drive on public roads. This car is a relic, this is a diamond, this car is a history. This is the last alive Mohican. So why did I start this test drive in Chechnya with this particular car? It's incredibly powerful, it's so unbelievably aggressive, and when they were building this car, they were inspired by fighter F-22 Raptor. And they have built only 20 of these cars. And since this car origins from a Murcielago, its interior is actually pretty the same. The dashboard consists of an aluminum block, and it looks like it was taken from a plane. And there's no start button here. This car starts simply with a turn of the key. And also the positions of the seats here are different from all other cars. They are slightly turned to the inside, so when you think you are sitting straight, indeed, you are a little bit turned to the right. Would I buy such a car for myself? Never. First, I don't have enough money for it. And the second, it's too insane. If you put an Italian inside here, he would feel himself home and never believe that he is in Chechnya. I want to thank this land and these people. Thank you for keeping this beauty alive, for caring and valuing this nature, and for the excitement this place gave to me. So I invite everyone to come here for a vacation and experience the same emotions I felt here. Thank you, Kazanoyam, for your hospitality and very tasty food. Lots of tourists are afraid to go to Chechnya, because there was a history, and it was terrifying. And these places really used to be dangerous in the past. James Bond had got into some troubles driving an Aston Martin back in the days, it would have looked like this. But even James Bond himself never has driven the car I'm going to drive in a moment. hear this sound? It's going to accompany us throughout all these test drive, luckily or unfortunately. Well, it's just having a hiccup, because it got really surprised. What? Davidich? Driving me? Shooting a test drive? No, no, please God, no! But in fact, this sound turned to be presented by Aston Martin company itself. God, how I love these guys. Do you want to know why? Because the mileage of this car is about 500 miles, and today, such a car costs almost $3 million, though I really doubt that it's possible to find it on such a price, and a windshield wiper simply went mad. Of course, you may disagree with me, but I think that this Aston Martin is the most beautiful car ever made by this company. An Aston Martin 177. It means 1 out of 77. But this automobile is even rarer, so it's not just cool, it's hyper cool, it's ultra cool, it's mega cool, it's madly cool, it's crazy cool, it's awesomely cool. I guess you've got the point. And this is the Q series, and that means that there are only 7 cars out of that 77 that have their engines placed 100 millimeters lower than the others. What the hell is going on? Are these guys some friends of yours or what? The owner will fucking kill me if I scratch this car! When this car came out, its price was about 1.2 million British pounds. Jesus Christ! What the hell are you doing, guys? They had this 6-liter engine, and for this car they decided to upgrade it, so in the end this car got 750 horsepower, a V12 and the rear-wheel drive. This car is a monster, it's a monster! And for these 77 cars only, they simply built another car factory. This car is able to accelerate to 60 in 3.7 seconds. I wish I could tell you about this car calmly and peacefully sitting here straight after that Lamborghini, but I have no choice. Unfortunately, there is no way the price of this car could help me lose this tail. And I guess we're on our own here, so let's improvise. Monique, send them our regards.
Salam alaikum!
That's a perfect shot, we lost one of them, good job. We are out of your league, my friend. Is there any more bullets? I'm all out. Damn, now there's nothing left but to activate Plan B. So when Chechen people got completely tired from all this madness and lawlessness, they decided to put everything back in order. It was tough and without bargaining. The Aston Martin company forbade this automobile from giving it to any journalist or reporter for a review. It may sound crazy, but this car took even more than 2,000 man-hours in its production, while for the usual Aston Martin cars, 200 man-hours was quite enough. This suspension origins from DTM. And to everyone who bought this car, they had to send a special Aston Martin expert who had to tune it specifically for your ass. It's all made of carbon fiber and it weighs only 1,630 kilos. I have to say that this car steers perfectly. It's such a joy to throw it into turns. I think that on a serpentine this car would not concede, even to Lamborghinis. Say that this car has some good acceleration, because when you press the gas pedal too sharply, its clutch simply burns and you can even see that smoke. Just check this out. Here, I press the gas pedal and it won't go. It won't go. This gearbox is not worthy of this great automobile and this great engine, because it's stupid and it burns its own clutch and it has some constant problems. Even no matter you paid so much money for this car. Aston Martin, are you f***ing insane? This car sounds wonderful. It would be a perfect car if it also were able to move somewhere and it didn't burn its own clutch. Though after I drove this automobile for some time, I understood that Aston Martin cars have their own very cool and unique style. And I guess they're able to build a good and powerful engine. I don't know how long it may stay alive if you drive it really often. What I know for sure is that these guys know how to make doors, fenders, headlights, I guess. But unfortunately they don't know how to make wipers and gearboxes. But anyway, despite this broken wiper and this spoiler that doesn't come all the way out and shows an error on the dashboard, and despite it simply stops sometimes and burns its own clutch, this car is incredibly elegant. And I simply admire its interior when I look at it. I admire its proportions. I admire its beauty and the quality of the materials. This is a very good work. I simply love these crystal buttons and this luxurious leather, these comfortable seats and all this interior. The rear strut braces look very cool, very sporty, but this leather on them excites me even more. And also there are some cool compartments in the trunk, and though I don't see any practical use of them, they look very beautiful. And I wonder whether carbon will ever lose its relevance, but there's lots of it here. And right because of its amount, here and in all other new sport cars, this material doesn't look that unique as it used to. But I have to admit that I'm still impressed with the way it's realized in this car. And most of all, I like these door panels. An exceptional work. So no matter all the problems with this car, it doesn't become less unique or less exclusive. But when I saw this multimedia system, I almost got a heart attack. That's just unbelievable. How could they put such a disgrace in such an exotic car? The rear view camera is absolutely impossible. So its mileage is only 500 miles. Aston Martin company must sprinkle ashes upon their heads and wash with tears from the disgrace they brought upon them. But that's the reality. So I think I'll better keep admiring its interior, its beauty, and all the work they made and the concern of the safety in this car. Mercedes, where are you? Don't disappoint your daddy. In January 2009, an exclusive speedster made in Stirling Moss honor was presented at Detroit Auto Show. After all these tragic events were over, people had to get things back in order, so they began to rebuild the infrastructure that was virtually destroyed. There was almost nothing. But today, I'm driving a Mercedes-Stirling Moss in Grozny. Just think about it, especially if you are aware of what had happened here. This automobile has 650 horsepower and 820 pound-feet of torque. This is the most beautiful cabrio in the world that I have not only ever seen, but ever driven. Am I excited? No, I'm losing my mind, because this car drives me insane. Mercedes named this car after a legendary racer, Stirling Moss. There are only 75 of these cars in the world. I really like the way the hood opens on this car. There are some unique locks that you have to screw first, lift it a little bit, and only then and only with an assistance you will be able to open the hood on this car and enjoy all the engineering beauty of the inside. If we talk about the design of this car, it's the perfection. There's no unnecessary line, it's just a bullet that flies through space and time. The exhaust system is very stylish and it's located from the sides. Technically, this car is provided with 2 air fairings. You keep one of them if you drive alone, and you keep both of them if you go to McDonald's. The 2 front windshields were mounted here exclusively to honor the history. The interior is pretty similar to what you can find in Mercedes SLR Mclaren. It's pretty simple, and there are also no unnecessary details, and that makes sense. But the main thing you have to know about Stirling Moss is that the first racing car he participated on was a BMW. Well, my friends, I have already broken all the possible rules, which say that you are not allowed to drive like a pensioner on such a car longer than 3 minutes, so I have to improve myself. Let's go. This is out of your league, brother. I have to mention that this car bases on a Mercedes SLR Mclaren, which used to have a 650 horsepower engine, same as we have here. And also there was a limited edition with 722 horsepower engines. We haven't tested this car yet, but I promise that we will. It's not stiff, though it's not soft, it's very tight, and it insists on being a champion. This car is a winner, and its dashboard is marked up to 390 km per hour, and that's about 242 miles per hour, and if Mercedes says so, it means that it can easily do 250, though I doubt that anyone is able to survive such a headwind stream. It has carbon ceramic brakes and a speed shift gearbox, and actually it is quite possible to swap this gearbox to a robotic sport transmission and make some tuning, and it will become much faster and turn into a spacecraft. But why the hell would anyone need that? This car brings you lots of joy. This car is unreal, and it has nothing to do with automobiles. It's a motorcycle or a plane or some jet. I'm in love with this ride. Head over heels in love. It makes me so sad that BMW company don't do such projects. And thank you, Mercedes, for making such cars. There are so few of them and they are so unique, but they exist, and we know that Mercedes is able to do it. This is incredibly cool. When you are driving a Stirling Moss, you are flying, and it feels really strange. It feels like a car and the bike at the same time as something in the middle. It's so exciting. Before cars, people used to ride but not to drive. So this is the first time when I can say that I'm riding this car. This is the only example when this phrase would not seem weird. I'm riding this car. I tried to speak loud in this car. The engine is so screaming. The headwind and the helmet made me almost deaf. I guess I swallowed a couple of bugs. Wait a second. This car makes my heart beat faster. This baby girl is so unique. She's such a good girl. This Mercedes is so beautiful, and it's so tender. Jesus Christ, I simply want to touch it everywhere. It gives me so much pleasure. And these seats are very comfortable and so convenient. I'm a huge pork, but I feel perfect. Is it possible to drive it every day? Yes. It may sound unbelievable because it may look like a car that one should drive once a year, but in fact, it's very comfortable, and these doors are so easy to open. The handle's placed perfectly. What can I say? That's a Mercedes. Italian cars are sometimes impossible to get into, like that Lambo. And this car is so practical and easy in use. It's so Mercedes. I really like this car and I liked it a lot. And again, I like this carbon fiber. Now I can say that this is my favorite Mercedes ever. This is the most astonishing Mercedes I have not only ever seen, but been into and drove myself. This is such an honor for me to take this car for a ride. That is a huge honor even to see it live, and I was lucky to drive it. My task for today is just to touch these incredible automobiles and tell you about them, and also to show the beauty of Chechen Republic and its capital Grozny. There's nothing more terrifying than a war. There's nothing more terrifying than the blood of your family, your close and loved people, ruined lives, broken mothers' hearts, crying children, and fear. This is what happened here. This land was on fire. And the only thing that cures these wounds is the time. Though it will never erase the memories of these events. The roads, dwelling buildings, schools, hospitals, everything had to be restored. But time flows, and today you would never recognize this country. It has literally stood up its knees. And today the peaceful sun shines bright upon my road throughout all the distance I cover, on this exclusive Spyker C8. When you see this Spyker C8 on your screen, your heart must definitely skip a bit if this heart loves cars. When you see this sophisticated interior, when you see how it squints its eyes, when you see this unique design, you understand that this is something special and super exclusive. And yes, this is a wonderful, most exotic, super rare, cosmic, exclusive automobile that you can possibly imagine. I'm sure that mentioning this car may keep 99% of people puzzled, even if they do know cars, cause in their heads they will not have any single picture to correspond to this car or to this name. Since the year 2000, most of the efforts this company made in the world of car building suffered a catastrophic failure. They strived so hard to tear the whole car market simply in pieces, especially in this car class. But unfortunately, it never worked out. When you get inside here, it feels like you got into some plane or some spacecraft, which doesn't have any analogs in the world. This gearbox shifter is one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in cars through whole my life. I guess this is the most beautiful gearbox in the world. And this shifter is one of these things that makes you feel inside of a spacecraft. Or at least some car with 1,000 horsepower engine. And I can tell you for sure that this automobile makes an impression that it's supposed to be the best car in the world. These air intakes are incredibly beautiful, same as everything here, so when you look at this car, it seems to cost millions and millions and millions of dollars. When you see the back of it, you see the exceptional approach in everything. An extraordinary exhaust, an extraordinary taillights. Absolutely everything in this car is extraordinary, it's exclusive and incredibly unique. When you are inside of this car, this panoramic roof above your head makes you feel not just excited, it makes you believe that you really are the king of the world. But it deceives you. Davidich has tested this Spyker C8 for you. And now it's time to show the flip side of this coin. According to Davidich, now it's time to start wrecking this vehicle, so let me start with the next facts. This automobile has 4.2-liter engine and it's from Audi. This automobile has a ZF gearbox from Audi. Even this key is from Audi. And since this is an Audi, it means that I'm driving some kind of a Frankenstein construct that was pulled over an Audi. And that was an Audi 4.2 Quattro, I guess. All the magazines used to say that this automobile has some phenomenal steering and that this automobile has some phenomenal sound. Yes, sure, of course, it accelerates only in 4.7 to 60 and that's not that fast, but it's so cozy and it purrs like a cat. Guys, all that is a lie. This car is not fast at all. It doesn't go anywhere. I floor the gas pedal and the goddamn Toyota Camry 3.5 overruns me and waves me goodbye without even trying. All this car is nothing but a show-off that works only standing in a traffic jam while people have that time to watch its beautiful lines and listen to its sound. These stalks under this steering wheel reminds me of a machete. And by the way, they do not work. Wait a sec, they do work. They just need the whole time in the world to think. And this automobile has awful brakes, and these pedals are placed in very inconvenient way, though they are very beautiful. When I drive a Spyker C8, I see lots of things that should be refined. It concerns the engine, the suspension and the gearbox, but on the whole, this is a very beautiful car. And sometimes I'm just astonished with some people's aspiration to build, create and overcome all the difficulties that stand on their way. Same as Chechen people did. All the difficulties, all the problems, all the adversities that fell on their heads during these years, during all this war, they managed to withstand it. And after that, they managed to rebuild that Grozny I'm going to take a ride through tonight. And that is going to be a very fast car. So this movie that we've been shooting in Chechen Republic comes to an end, and I'm so deeply proud for being able to show you the beauty and the nature of these lands, and I'm very proud of all these people and of everything they were able to build here, and I'm very proud of what we have shot here, because we've spent lots of time here and this place is totally safe. You can come on a vacation here. And I guarantee that the people who shoot movies and tell you in that movies that Chechen people are bad and that Chechnya is a dangerous place, that they are still shooting and killing people here, that's a lie. It used to happen, but today that's a history. Everything is in order here. And today this place is cozy, beautiful and very cool. And these people are ready to give not the apologies but greetings. And they will always feed you with tasty food, and they will always show you the beauty of their lands. And they are not less hospitable than any other Caucasian people. Trust me. So now I want to thank everyone who participated in shooting and making of this movie. We wanted to show you the coolest and the most insane cars that ever possible to find. Drive them, race them and shoot the big and cool video for you guys. And we did it. And being grateful to this country and these people, we wanted to show you how beautiful and safe this place is and to show its smoothest roads. I'm just a dude whose name is Davidich and who really love cars. And this dude shot a movie for you to hit the like button. It was a D3, see ya. Hey Davidich, my friend. Come on, let's race, Davidich. That's out of your league, brother.